have completed the Colts and Geldings Prelude in the Blue Diamond Double. Two representatives in the race for Lindsay Park. David won it 6 times, Colin won 3, Ben and JD tracing their first. They got the 2 Arkansas kid who won the Inglis banner on Cox Plate Day and then was a complete forgive run in the Millennium.
Yeah, won on debut there, and despite racing wide without cover, and very easy to forgive the last run. He'll be fitter for that. He maps for a soft run. I wonder if he's well and truly over the odds.
He's one that I think's developed really nicely since the last time I laid eyes on him. I saw him on debut and he was a nice horse back then, but he's an even bigger, stronger horse now. So he's made the necessary improvements from a physical perspective, and he's one that's always really lovely and relaxed on race day. So he's going to give himself every opportunity here.
Draw pivotal going from the shoot to the Lakeside 1200. It hasn't quite gone the way of the second of the Godolphin runners, Zulfika, who won of the Chairman's, of course.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be the negative. He responded when challenged and came away to win strongly first up in the Chairman's. He can roll forward to maybe offset the draw. I'm not convinced that 1200 is a negative for him. It might actually be what he's looking for, but yeah, he may just have to do a lot of work from that barrier.
I agree, Ben. I think the extra distance is really going to suit him. He's an athletic 2-year-old. He's in the right shape in terms of fitness. He's a little bit strong on the bit, but aside from that, he's in the right order.
For his little bro, second of the Hayes runners, won the Merson Cooper, then second in the Prelude.
Hit the line strongly there first up. Peaked on the run late. He'll be fitter. He maps for a softer run. He gets Winker's first time, and he really improved to win second up last preparation.
I think that the 1200 metres is going to be right up his alley from a type point of view. I loved his first up parade, and he's come on really nicely.
5 Brave Halo was very good and a bit unlucky in the Prelude Hutch when fourth, and it's going to take something special from Damien Oliver.
It will from that barrier for sure, but if he gets the right run, I think he can win it. I think he would have won last start with a clear run, and he was undefeated in Perth in his first preparation. Very exciting prospect, just needs a touch of luck with Damien Oliver on board.
He's a little pocket rocket, he's built for speed, and he's maintained really well in between runs. One thing I will say about him is he got himself quite hot and quite worked up on his first occasion here at Sandown. He's much more relaxed today, so that race has taken the edge off him. I think that's a really good sign.
6th the instructor. You anticipate he's going to be on speed for Jordan Childs. His 2 wins are both at 1,000 in a Pakenham maiden and then here in the preview. Yeah,
unbeaten in those 2 starts, led throughout in both. Looks one of the potential leaders in the race. Got to see him at 1200. He's got to do it in a much stronger race, but he's in the right stable, and I like the fact he puts himself on speed.
Yeah, he's fit, he's healthy, he does everything right. He'll give himself every chance without really standing out in the mounting yard. He is a horse that always puts his best foot forward.
We've had a day out so far, Mar Eustace, with 3 winners. They've had 11 runners in the last 4 Blue Diamonds. None of them have run top 3. They've got 2 very good chances. The first of them is the Colt VC.
Yeah, I think he's been backed at a price, and I think with good reason. Produced a big finish off a slow speed to win dominantly on debut. I think the soft track was against him last time. He'll need the right run from the draw, but if he gets it, he could improve sharply on a firmer surface today.
I've loved this horse since I laid eyes on him. I think he's got really good muscle mass, good physical strength for a 2-year-old. As you can see, perfectly well behaved wandering around the yard. He's fit and he's got a great coat on him. I don't think you could ask for any more out of a 2-year-old parade.
Mark Zara looking to become the first jockey since Damien Brown in 2014 and 15 to go back-to-back in the Blue Diamond. Dormier last year, Don Corleone in 23.
Yeah, it was a big win on debut in fast time, hence the $1.60 starting price at his second start, where he was disappointing with seemingly no excuses. But if he runs to his debut, he can win the race, and he's one of the better chances in the race. I'm a bit concerned his habit of missing the start. He might be back and buried.
He does look like a real runner. He's got that 2-year-old look about him. He's got a good back end, good muscle mass, not overly big. He's been very straightforward since he stepped foot in the yard. He's got a certain level of professionalism already.
3rd Godolphin run of the 9 Exploring won the Phillies Prelude.
Yeah, and ran faster time than the boys. Did get the opportunity to run time though, which the boys didn't. They went much quicker early. There's more pressure up front here. She has to do it at 1200 metres. I'm against that form as being the right form to win this race.
Again, built for speed. She's only a neat filly, but she hasn't done much wrong, and as you can see, very settled and relaxed in the yard ahead of her biggest assignment.
The Sonic Boom, the preview winner, was then a touch disappointing in the Prelude.
Yeah, I think it might have been in season last time out, so it could have been a forgivable run. It was a good win on debut. Blinkers go on first time. Forgive one run, and it wouldn't shock to see her run a huge race at a price.
Physically, she's probably one of the better speed fillies in this. She's very strong. She's very well built. She's got that nice, big, powerful back end on her. She's been settled enough with the blinkers on, the ears forward, really alert. Of the fillies, I think she's one of the nicer ones wandering around.
Nikita Berryman, 5,586 days since riding Tears I Cry to give Kieran Murray Group 1 winner in the 2007 Emirates. Rides the Queenslander, the 11 Party for 2.
Set outside the lead in the preview and in the prelude, I should say, and ran really well. Maybe can kick up and lead from barrier 1 on the lakeside here, and that could help her, but it's a stronger race, and 1,200 metres is a little bit of a query for me with the amount of pressure up front.
She is not only a neat filly, but she does carry good strength in behind the saddle, and that's where the power comes from in these fast races. She's very pretty, she's very athletic, and she's incredibly healthy. A couple of strappers on her, and for the most part, she's behaved herself perfectly.
12, Steel City, looking to become just the third maiden to win the Blue Diamond.
Sprinted really hard off a slow speed on debut, and behind a good horse in Red Resistance, put a gap on third, beat all bar the subsequent Millennium winner and the Golden Slipper favourite last start. Gets the blinkers on, key gear change for this stable, maps for a great run. I think she deserves favouritism in the race. And
her manners haven't changed since she stepped into the mounting yard. She's a very relaxed filly. She'll give herself every chance. She's nice and fit for this. Team have got her ready.
13, Jubinenko. Trainer Chris Beeg ran third in this race with Free of Debt in 2019.
She was too good in Adelaide last start in a much weaker race. The late strength in her races does suggest she may appreciate the rise in distance, but I think she'll need to improve again and that others have stronger form.
Physically, she's come on really nicely since the last time I assessed her. She's nice and tight and fit for this. Always gets herself quite toey and warm in the yard.
14, a scratching. 15, Picky was 5th in the fillies preview.
Can easily make a case she's a big price. Wasn't far behind Exploring on debut, then was unlucky not to finish closer last time out. She looks suited by the rise in distance. Barry makes it tricky, but yeah, you can make a case she's over the odds.
She's fit and been well behaved, but I've preferred others on their parade.
16, Extreme Threat, third on debut in the Prelude behind Exploring.
Yeah, stuck on well after racing wide without cover in the Prelude there, and she maps for a much softer run here. May take further improvement out of her debut, and another one you could easily make a case is over the odds.
She's an athletic filly. She's very fit, well prepared for this, getting a little bit warmer than what she did on debut.
17, Sensible gets a run, Hutch, and plenty liking her off her closing efforts in the preview and Prelude.
Yeah, I really liked the run in the Prelude. I thought it was a fantastic effort behind Exploring. She attacked the line beautifully. There'll be speed on here. She'll be at the back, but if there's one powering home late that is too good for them in the end with that powerful finish, it may well be her.
She's a big 2-year-old filly. She's got size to her, and considering she's got such a big frame, she's very strong at this point in time. She always parades very, very well. She's perfect in terms of her behaviour. She's got a good action. She moves well. So she's one that ticks boxes from the yard.
Ladbrokes Blue Diamond Stakes, $2 million Group 1, 1,200 metre Lakeside Circuit. Tagaloa, Liar, Catchy, Extreme Choice, Pride of Dubai, Earthquake, Miracles of Life amongst those to go on that trophy in the last decade. Ben Ascari, your numbers for the first of our 3 Group 1s.
With Steel City here, blinkers on, looks as though she'll get a nice run, comes through what might be the premier form and it brings some different form. Barber, he's hard to knock. He'll take improvement out of the last run. Looks the best of the Melbourne form. Don Corleone, if he runs to his debut, is a huge chance, and Brave Halo maybe should have beaten the favourite last time out.
What a race, yeah, really open, as it has been mentioned already. Look, I've gone with Steel City, but I think the value's actually with Brave Halo and Sensical at their respective prices. But 12, 5, 17 and 4 from me.
Sensical on top from the yard, the 17. This filly has just continued to do very well right the way through her preparation. She's got a big frame. She's very strong. I think she's been looking for the extra ground, particularly on type. So the 1,200 metres is going to be right up her alley this afternoon. She is just so laid back in the yard. She's casual. She's professional. Does everything right. She goes on top from the yard. Outside of that, Barber has taken really nice improvement. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins, and I've always had a soft spot for VC. I think he's a really nice colt.
Halo do. Well, Damien Oliver up the top of your screen there, come across with Zilfikar and Exploring and want to be there and not give too much ground. Well, Barber, look behind him. Little Bros will get a beautiful run just back off them, and Don Corleone will be looking to ride for a little bit of luck. It sets up to be a cracker. Who do you like at home? Get your bets on for the Blue Diamond.
Lindsay Park have had an incredible history in the Blue Diamond. They've got 2 runners in the 2023 edition. Ben Hayes is with us. Ben, we'll start with Arkansas Kid. Not a lot you could really take out of his English Millennium performance given the luck, but everyone seems to think that learning to fly form's almost the top shelf when it comes to the 2-year-olds. Given we don't have a lot to go on from the Sydney run, where do we see him likely settle?
I think he's drawn well. We'll definitely be looking to hold a position from barrier 4, and he's come on beautifully from that run. He went into that race a bit underdone and he's really improved out of it. And I think he'll run a very competitive race, and being a long shot, he can definitely be in the finish for sure.
Little Bros, on paper at least, is the #1 seed, and rightly so, off the Merson Cooper in. And then what he was able to do here in the prelude, how's he come on in terms of fitness?
Really happy with him. His work on Monday was excellent. Worked with an older horse, had it covered, and he's done everything right. And second up last preparation, he was very good, and we've gone with the winkers as well, and I think they'll just really help him focus and really attack the line. So Barry 7's a nice draw. There could be a lot of pressure, so where we end up will be interesting, but he's really come on and we can't fault him, and we're really happy with the way they both presented.
All the best, Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the very best. What a history the family have in this race, that is for sure. Trying not to drop things as we head out to Charlotte. What's catching your eye out there, Charlotte? The 2-year-olds, are they well behaved by and large?
I am very impressed with this bunch of 2-year-olds. I think they are all impeccably well behaved. I think they've all kept it together really well. We haven't really got anything that's completely melting. Brave Halo had a good sweat first up and ran well, and has had the same again here today. But Barber got quite hot in behind, but Jamie just dropped the feet out as she customarily does behind the barriers, relaxed this colt and switched him off, and he's just loading up now. But I think there's a few to dissect here. I rode upsides Daniel Moore on D-Sonic Boom, who was very strong in his hand, he said, with the blinkers applied for the first time, and we know the Freedman team have had success with the blinkers applied for the first time, so maybe a good one at long odds.
Yeah, what a race. Last minute thoughts, Ben, as they start to load up?
Well, what I would be is surprised if they don't go really quickly here. You got Party from inside to our Party for Two, the Instructor, Exploring, Zolfika, and even Brave Halo that are all really quick, and a stack of them that cannot be too far away. So you'd think there's going to be some sparks flying early, and it's going to be a good test of these young horses at 1,200 metres.
Late specking for, well, a couple of runners. Don Corleone, also a little bit of money for Sensical at a longer price as they start to load up. Let's head up to Matt Hill.
Sensical ran some spectacular stats late in the prelude. Goes forward the filly. The Instructor is in as that rain just gets a little bit heavier. Picky is riderless at this stage. Little Bros going in. Of course, the Hayes name synonymous with this race. David Hayes winning it 6 times. Little Bros for Ben and JD Hayes with Mickey D aboard. To Sonic Boom being brought forward. Daniel Moore for Anthony and Sam Friedman. Exploring jockey Craig Williams sporting a red distinguishing cap. 3 Godolphin runners in it. Barber with the blue cap, Zolfika the white, and Exploring the red. Exploring goes in. Picky riderless. VC about to join them with Zolfika and also Brave Halo, ridden here by Damien Oliver. As VC goes in, pretty relaxed. Next one to join them is going to be Damien Oliver's mount. And that is Brave Halo as Zolfika is placed forward. Takes that tricky gate from that wide alley Zolfika. This 1,200 metres. The 53rd running of this race, the Ladbrokes Blue Diamond Stakes. Always a brilliant build-up. We're about to get the answer in about a minute and a half. Brave Halo, the Western Australian, goes in. Unlucky last start. And here is Picky with Damien Thornton about to jump up into the structure. Picky, the blindfold, completes the line to the outside. Picky goes in. And the field is now set for the Ladbrokes Blue Diamond Stakes. Ready to run. Stand by for a start. Starter has the line at hand and they're racing. Sensical out the back with the Sonic Boom beginning well. Was Extreme Threat followed by Party for Two, and Steel City's right up there with the Instructor who's charging up. A length Arkansas Kid and Exploring's not too far away from Little Bros and Zolfika. Next in the field, Don Corleone to Sonic Boom, and then well back in the field is Barber at this stage, 3 wide, and VC is 4 wide around him as they're about to charge down the hill at the 750. 2 lengths away, Brave Halo, and then came Sensical, Dubonenko, and at the tail of the field is Picky. So the Instructor is the leader. 600 metres to go. Led by a Neck Exploring. Then came Steel City. Third on the inside of Extreme Threat. Further back, Zolfikar and Party for Two from Little Bros VC. Brave Halo goes via the Cape, and then came Barber. Back behind them, Arkansas Kid, Don Corleone, Dubinenko and Sensigal. It's the Instructor with Exploring moving up on the outside, but Steel City's trying for run on the inner and got chopped out. Then Extreme Threat. Back behind them, Little Bros. Then Brave Halo, Zolfikar, Don Corleone, the Instructor with 150 to go. Grabbed by Little Bros. Little Bros takes the lead from Arkansas Kid, Don Corleone. Little Bros, it's Hayes again. Little Bros, 3/4 of a length. Second, Don Corleone from Arkansas Kid or Brave Halo, and then came Dubinenko. Next to finish, Extreme Threat, Barber, Zolfikar, and then came Party for Two. Next, Picky, Barber, well back in the field. Steel City with also Exploring, who got tied with the Instructor, pulling up quickly to Sonic Boom, Sensical and VC.
Lindsay Park have got a 10th Blue Diamond. Ben and JD's, their second victory at the highest level, comes in a race that has been in the family's grasp for half a century. Dad David won it on 6 occasions. Their grandfather Colin won it 3 times. And Little Bros with Michael D, who's having the season of his life, has won the 2023 Blue Diamond in 70 seconds flat. And you can see the emotion. Twins, Will and JD, older brother Ben, Grace Ramage, who is so well known to our team and done a wonderful job as part of their group in those famous Lindsay Park Silks, and they've run first and third. Arkansas Kid ran out of its skin after that checkered run in the Millennium. But Little Bros becomes the first horse since Rancher in 1981 to win the Merson Cooper in the spring and come back and win the Blue Diamond, the state's biggest 2-year-old feature. Don Corleone, he's bounced back from a poor run in the Piero. 4.825. It's spine-tingling for Lindsay Park in the Blue Diamond.
Yeah, very emotional scenes, as you can imagine, from the Lindsay Park crew, and what a moment for the Hayes family. Great ride for Mickey D. Had a lovely run around, quick and beautifully. This fella held off a late charge from Don Corleone. I've got to go back and look at it again, Ben, but let's hear from Ben Hayes now, the winning trainer.
Ben Hayes is with us. First and third in a Blue Diamond, Ben. A race that between your dad and your grandfather, the family had won 9 times. You and JD make it 10. What's coursing through you right now?
I've got adrenaline. I'm just shaking. I really thought he was good enough to win, and I felt like vomiting all day. So to see a beautiful run, beautiful ride by Michael, and from the hit the line and win so impressively, was just so exciting, and is a really exciting horse. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for the whole team, mum and dad at home, everyone, and it's good to keep that family tradition going and winning Blue Diamonds.
It's a race that you always need a squeeze of luck in, particularly this year's edition around Lakeside, where gates were going to be so crucial, as were rides, and it feels like maybe the little touch of luck that he didn't have the Prelude was there for him today. He
just had a beautiful run, and the winkers made him just travel better. He just never looked like losing. Just so exciting. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for everyone, and he's so exciting going forward.
What about Arkansas Kid running third?
I actually didn't know he ran third till about 10 seconds ago, so I'm so happy, because I knew that horse had ability, and he was unlucky in a Millennium, and to come out and run third in Group 1 is a big effort.
What's it mean to the entire team and the operation? We know yourself and JD have had the reins. Mr. Brightside winning the Doncaster was a lot of vindication in a way, but to win a big 2-year-old race, but win one in Victoria, what's that mean, and how do you spread that through the culture of your team from here?
Well, JD and I sat down at the end of the season last year and said, what can we improve on? And we went, well, we got our 2-year-olds slightly wrong, and we changed a couple of things, and I think our results have spoken for themselves. That's our 8th individual winner and 7th individual winner, and you know, most of them have been listed in group races, so we improved on that, and I think it's huge going forward. It's very, very, very exciting. Just thrilled for my whole family, and you know, we work so hard, and to do it in our second year of training and partnership is a big thrill.
Ben, congratulations. The Blue Diamonds off to Crichton's Creek, and Jane Ivel's catching up with JD Hayes.
Well, JD, we've just heard from Ben, but great to get your side as well. What an achievement for the two of you. Obviously, you've taken over what is nothing short of a dynasty, and what you guys are producing is just outstanding.
No, thank you very much for those kind words, and I'm sure Ben would have touched on too, but we've got such a good team around us at Lindsay Park, terrific facilities, and the person who bred little Bros unfortunately had a death in the family, so condolences go out to him, and I hope that puts a smile on his face. And also Dean Hawthorne, who we call him our seeing eye dog at the sales, he picked him out, and just a terrific, when it all comes together, just so good.
We watched the staff and yourself and your brother all embrace post-race. It does a lot for, I guess, the camaraderie in a stable when you can get results like this.
No, it does. Everyone really works hard in our industry, as you know, and everyone's got a very important role to play, as do Ben and I, and know your role, play your role. And I'd also like to take this moment to thank Mr. Young. He took the horse one out. He took me on a golfing day out in Hong Kong, and then after that bought into this horse, and we've been on a terrific run, so couldn't be happier to get a good result for a good client.
It's been a great journey. Well done.
Thank you.
Group 1-8 for Michael D. It's a case of singing in the rain after winning the Blue Diamond on Little Bros. Michael, for what you envisaged perhaps going to bed last night and walking into the track today in terms of how the race unfolded, could it have gone any better?
The way the race unfolded, that's exactly how we planned. Wanted to be somewhat positive and be as close as I can without being out of our comfort zone, and he travelled strong throughout. There was a bit of jostling there with sort of going that first corner, but look, to this horse's credit and Ben and JD, like, they've done an amazing job, and to have the horse peaking on the right day, it's just a credit to them.
What were your confidence levels coming in terms of his capacity to eat up the 1200 but also handle the pressure and the consternation that was going to come in a big Group 1?
Yeah, look, he's a horse that takes everything in his stride. He never turns a hair. He just canters around to the gates lovely, and he's just such a beautiful colt to ride, and yeah, look, I'm sure it's onwards and upwards from here.
Well, his temperament's mirroring his jockeys, because you're typically measured, as we know, but are you getting used to being on the Group 1 stage?
Oh, look, you certainly get used to it, and you enjoy it for when they come, but you certainly get brought back down to earth soon enough.
Well, it's been a phenomenal season. Long may it continue. Well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Peter Snowden joins me. It's always disappointing when you miss out on a Group 1 by a narrow margin, but a great performance by your colt.
Yeah, I have to please the run. He's ran really well, and ran as well as I expected him to. But gee, it's a hard watch when you. Congratulations to the Hayes boys. Well done, but it's a hard watch. You know you should have won. But anyway, that's racing, and next start he might have luck on his side.
Probably didn't get all the break